Today's story is about human resilience and determination. The story of a dreamer to dream big in life. It showcases leaders' ability to make decision during crisis, also called navigational decision-making abilities. This is the story of HR leader, how he achieved his Chartered MCIPD and Chartered Professional in HR from Australia and UK together without doing any CIPD levels. The story of an HR professional, because of his strong business acumen, he became the HR head with just 8 years of experience. He is considered a champion in resilience and navigational decision making. He grew from Asia, became a UK national, and he is now hired all across Middle East and Africa region to transform their business entity and their organization to deliver business focused results. Please allow me to welcome Muhammed Owais, Chartered MCIPD and CPHR, one of the well-known HR leader in Middle East and Africa region. Mohammed, tell us about your brief journey in your career. Before, just give us an introduction about yourself before we understand that what is a recipe of your success for a successful career. Just give us your brief glimpse first.
I start, just to set the record straight, 8-year experience in Middle East, overall 16 years of experience in HR. Well, thank you very much to you, Sandeep, for giving me this opportunity. My name is Muhammed Owais. You can call me Muhammad. I was until recently working as head of HR at Muhammad Harib Al Oteba Group, which is over 74-year-old family conglomerate in UAE with diversified line of businesses like transportation, technology, trading. I was directly reporting into the chairman of the group, and I was also a member of group's strategic leadership team. As part of 3 years strategic plan, there I set up a vision for the group's HR department, which was to make MHU Group as employer of choice by creating a culture of high performance, innovation, and diversity. Well, my mission for the group HR department was to achieve workplace excellence by promoting fairness with open communication, training staff, and enhancing organizational culture through professional development programs, personal accountability, trust, and mutual respect. Everybody has a value in their life. My values are integrity, trust, diversity, innovation, quality, and safety. Very quickly, academically, I have done my MBA from University of Worcester in UK, diploma in law from Birmingham City University, and postgraduate diploma in business studies from University of London in London. I have over 8 years of experience working in HR. As for professional certification and continuous learning, I'm a certified reward professional from A1 Hewitt Middle East, also attended training on compensation reward strategy, and I've completed the certification in finance for non-finance manager for a better understanding of financial metrics. I used to be a certified energy shore assessor for Scottish Power and EDF Energy while in the UK. And I was also a student member of Law Society of England and Wales from September 2003 to December 2007. And finally, I gained my Chartered MCIPD earlier this year under your guidance. So that's a brief introduction of who I am.
Muhammad, now how does it feel to reach to this level, you know, in a very short time, I can say. And you have grown, and you went from Asia to settle in UK, got the citizenships, came here, and you have invited all across for the various organization to deliver the business focused results. You are a transformation specialist. You deliver business focused results. You have strong business acumen, and we'll talk about resilience and navigational skills later. Tell us about what is your recipe of success. You know, a lot of people in the community in HR would like to replicate your recipe of success for them, especially the young and budding HR in Asia.
So, Deep, it's a very interesting question and a topic in itself. You know that career has nothing to do with the work, unlike what most of the people think. When you think about career, you straight away you start thinking about work. Although career has nothing to do with the word career is a movement of our work, the overall direction that is called career. Now, the most used words to describe career is success. No one wants to fail. No one aims at having a mediocre or an average career, no matter what the career is. Everyone wants to succeed at it. So I have a few pointers as a recipe for success, regardless of what kind of career you are in. The number one I would say is know where you want to go. That was very important, and that helped me a lot. When I moved to UAE from the UK 8 years back, I was very focused and I knew what I wanted to become and where I wanted to go. Failure was not an option for me. So if you're not sure where you're going, you may drift in a direction that wastes your time and does not bring you to the joy and fulfillment you desire. Then followed by know where you are. So self-awareness is very important. You have to understand where you stand. It's important to know where you want to go, but before that, you have to self-analyze and see where you are right now. So you must know where you are in order to plan how to get where you want to be. In your assessment, be honest about what you currently think about yourself, the people around you, and your situation. Then let the past go. It was very difficult when I moved from the UK. It was completely different culture. I was in a cultural shock. I had good teacher. I had good bosses. They helped me navigate into the Middle East culture, and so I would say stop dragging your failures around every day. Let the past go. Learn from the lesson of the past that you will be helpful and move on. Life has never been fair and will never be fair. Let go of the past. Enjoy your life. Then focus on what you can control is another recipe. Since you can't control other people, concentrate on what you can control. Yourself and your responses. When confronted with a problem, one of the most important questions you can ask yourself is, what am I willing and going to do about it? Answering this question will help you focus on what you can do and resolve issues and reach your goal. Secondly, be coachable. Don't be stubborn. Be willing to listen and learn from everyone. That has been my strong point, if you ask me, that I have always been open for coaching. I was always coachable and I was always flexible. For example, when you receive a negative feedback, be careful not to shoot the messenger. Resist the temptation to dismiss advice from someone you may not even like. Consider whether there is anything you can take away from the feedback that will be helpful. Often the feedback we get defensive about is the feedback we really need to be listening to. Be committed. Commitment is about taking action based on what you said you would do. And then finally, take action. Planning is good, but action is the key. This is where the doers separate themselves from the thinkers. We have all spent time talking about ideas but not acting on it, only to find out later that someone had a similar idea, implemented it, and reaped the reward. Taking action is essential to accomplish our goals. Remember, some action is better than no action. If need be, you can change, reverse, or alter your course later. The key is to take at least some action now. And the only person you can control is you. Take full responsibility of your career success, make things happen, enjoy the ride to the next level of your career. It will take commitment and hard work, but if you're ready, you can climb the ladder of success however you define it. So these 7 points would be my recipe to a successful career.
Awesome. So, Mohammed, since this is a Christmas time, so I will put a Christmas flavor. So let me put Christmas hat and cap, and then let's get into the Christmas mode. Okay, and there you go. And since this is a coffee with HR straw, so there's a coffee, and
Yes.
we join the coffee, and then we commence our next discussion, and it's going to be very, very enjoyable. And I'm sure all the viewers and listeners are going to enjoy thoroughly today's discussion. Now, we heard you, a very, very passionate HR leader you are, and it has been my pleasure to coach you for some of the areas in HR, and it's my extreme pleasure. And I've seen you; you're extremely business focused. You have strong business acumen, and you have a strong resilience that is demonstrable in your last careers, and how that's how you have been rewarded with so sensitive responsibilities and so lucrative responsibilities, and you are have expertise in situational decision making or navigational skills. Or now, before we proceed ahead, just for our viewers, how you went for the CIPD certification, and you did not go to SHRM or any other certification. Any specific reason for it?
See, I have a great respect for all professional qualifications, Sandeep. But coming from the UK, CIPD was a natural choice for me, to be honest. Plus, it is one of the most sought after certification among HR professionals and widely recognized in the UK and most of the Commonwealth countries. Additionally, the experience assessment route is demanding yet flexible for experienced HR professionals like me to take. Any certification is good. As I said, I have respect for all HR certification. Don't take me wrong, including HR certification from Global Society for Human Capital Management. However, I wanted to get chartered membership status at this set experienced HR professional apart from so-called educated HR professional. In fact, I was watching one of your sessions with one of my HR colleagues some time back, and I particularly liked the analogy given by him in one of your interviews, that it is like saying a difference between boy and a man. It separates men from boys. So that was a very interesting one. The certification gives a different edge to your profile, and that was the reason that I opted for. I did consider SHRM, I did consider HR qualification, but finally I decided to go with CIPD, and I'm not regretting it at all.
And I'm so glad that you get not only chartered MCIPD, you also earn chartered membership from Australian Human Resource Institute.
I did.
We'll talk about what was the challenges, difficulties, and how did you overcome while getting this chartered MCIPD grade. So why the reason that you went for a chartered member, and why not for the levels? You got a levels in the CIPD, level 3, 5, and 7. So why you did not go for levels? Why only for chartered MCIPD?
See, chartered membership recognizes people professionals who use their expertise in people. And I'll say in CIPD's own words that this chartered membership recognizes people professionals who use their expertise in people, work, and change to create value for organization and the profession. To be honest, I did some research and was also approached by different institutes and academies within UAE and offering CIPD level training. However, they could only offer CIPD level 5 and 7, which was time consuming. And since I already had level 7 education from the UK, I felt chartered CIPD could add more value to my career. And charter membership would inspire confidence with employer and clients. It helps to further your career and open doors to promotion, increase in range of job opportunities. So that was a natural choice as compared to charter. I don't want to sound proud, but I feel level 7 and level 5, which has been offered in UAE, it's very costly, it's very time consuming, and it does not stand anywhere near to be a chartered member. So there's no brainer. I mean, it was an obvious choice. And after I still remember the first day I spoke to you, and after having a discussion with you, that day I was driving back home, I had made up my mind that that's it. That's what I wanted to do.
You went through experience assessment,
Yeah.
and what you said very rightly that level 3, 5, and 7, they are very expensive proposition, expensive certification program, and if a person has the experience, he can go for the process which Muhammad is going to explain to us. So you went through a process of experience assessment. Tell us about it. What was it? How did it go? And what was your experience?
See, I'll be frank, Sandeep. It was quite demanding, especially the 4 hours professional discussion with the assessor. But I thoroughly enjoyed the whole process, and especially when you made it look so easy with your coaching and guidance throughout the process. And I'm not just saying, I don't know if I have ever mentioned to you, I did register for same experience assessment in 2014 as well. But without proper guidance from a coach, I was unable to finish due to my work commitments. However, when I started re-registered myself and started doing it under your coaching, I think experience does matter because you have been into this for so many years, and you put it across in such a simple way that not only me, but if you remember, I invited a couple of my colleagues who also managed to achieve chartered membership because it made sense. It's a very structured way. It takes time. I won't say that you can do it without any hard work. It requires hard work, resilience, and commitment. However, the rewards are good, and ultimately, if you follow the instructions and you follow the whole process and the roadmap, it's not very difficult, and it's a fraction of a price what you would pay out there for level 3, 5, or 7. So experience was really, really exciting, and I was really excited through the process. And it was a Corona time, which really helped me as well. So I had a bit of extra time to concentrate and spend on the work and the requirements to fulfill the requirements of MCIPD. So yeah, it was a very, very refreshing experience, I must say.
Well, this is my part of giving back to the society since I earned the Chartered Fellow status from the CIPD and FCIPD from Australia, and then I earned the GPHR, SHRM, CP, all the certifications. So I thought giving back to the society is very, very important because I saw a lot of HR leaders struggling for it. One thing is, they are extremely busy and they don't get time. So it is my way of giving back to the HR profession that if I can help in any way to enlighten them and guide them. And of course, my training institute is there, which provides other training, and we can help them through other training like analytics and other dashboarding and other very, very interesting programs. Now, tell us about Muhammad, that how important the global HR certifications are for career growth.
So it's very simple. These days, you'll find most of the people having masters, MBAs, but having a global HR certification makes you stand out of the crowd. It helps you gain knowledge of new trends, increase your professional credibility, helps you in promotions, and you become part of a wider HR community. So any given day, I would always, and even I advise my team members and my HR colleague that gone are the days when only masters and MBA was sufficient for you to promote or climb up the ladder. Not anymore. You must have some recognized, accredited global HR certification, and CIPD is top of the list.
Now you have reached till here, Muhammad, and you are one of the most sought after HR leader in Middle East and Africa region.
Thank you.
So just tell us about, what is your future career aspiration, what you want to do, and what's your future plan?
See, Sandeep, I would like to be part of an organization where I do not only impact the bottom line, but also have the influence to change employees' lives by offering the best working environment where they can be engaged at all time. I personally am a strong. Every HR professional has some areas of expertise. Mine, I to take pride, is performance management. I am a strong believer of a performance-based culture, and where employees are not only held accountable for the work they do, but also rewarded for their hard work. So, yeah, I would want to be part of such organization which values their employees and just not look at the bottom line, but also the welfare and the well-being of their people as well.
By the way, Farheen from Japan, she sends you hi.
Hi,
And
say hi back,
yeah,
sir.
she is also watching the live, and she is saying, "Great to see Muhammad from Japan," and she is so delighted to see you live on a LinkedIn live um, at the Global Society for Capital Management.
You say hi
Now,
to her as well. She
yes,
was
yes,
an
yes, yes,
inspiration.
yes. Tell us about what's your why it is apart from having this global certifications, why business understanding is so crucial for HR leaders.
See, so the business understanding is not only crucial for HR leaders. Business understanding is very important for all stakeholders, especially for an HR professional. I will talk about HR only at the moment. So it is more important than ever in order to secure a place, that famous place at the table. Uh, an HR professional must not only be aware of the market, but also about the top and bottom line of their businesses. And they must know who their competitors are and how will their HR strategy impact the bottom line of the business. It also helps while acquiring the right talent for the organization. And that's why specifically I would highly advise people to learn about the numbers, because normally what is the perception about HR people, that we are unaware of the numbers and the bottom line and we don't care about the P&L. Uh, you cannot progress or perform or climb up the ladder, professional ladder in HR these days, if you are not aware of analytics and number. Analytics is the future of HR, and you must know how your organization is doing, what kind of business you are in, what kind of competition you can face. Because one of I'll give you a very simple example. In talent acquisition, the talent pool is very limited. Even though there's so many people out of job, but still it's hard to get a right talent. And unless you know what kind of business you are in and what kind of competition you are facing, you will never be able to get the best talent out of this talent pool. So it is more crucial than ever these days to know and understand the business for any HR professional as well as any stakeholder within the organization, be it marketing, HR, strategy department, whatever department you belong to. It's very, very crucial to understand your business these days.
Mohammed, now tell us about a lot of young HR leaders and HR leaders who are in the mid of their HR career, and a couple of them in the senior leaders also are there. What's your advice to this HR leaders of tomorrow?
See, my experience, and I do read a lot. My experience, the greatest change for human resources is the shift from processes and operation to be more focused on people. That's why you hear these days new terminology. People don't call HR managers, they are called people manager. So this requires an enhanced skill set, a high degree of emotional intelligence, the ability to strategize about the integration of technology and talent, and to communicate large scale organizational transformation to employees that easy for them to understand, removing the fear of change. Very important point which I implemented during my time as well, that I believe that HR leaders spend so much of their time investing in the career development of others, but now is the time for them to also invest in developing their own leadership skill. You would see in any organization that while preparing the budget, they ask you to set up the budget for training and development of people in other departments. And I was always of an opinion that what about those people you expect to train other people? Have we ever concentrated or invested in the training of HR professional? And as the competition of top, my other advice would be as the competition for the top talent continues to intensify, HR leader who have a mastery of digital and data understand how to develop employees over time and are strong communicators are best poised to help organizations achieve their human capital goals. There are five key considerations for the leaders of tomorrow. Adapting to the agile workplace. Advances in communication and collaboration technology have already reinvented the concept of work, pushing 9 to 5 pattern toward obsolescence and giving rise to an army of remote and flexible work. So get used to that. Tomorrow's leader must therefore be prepared to relinquish older ideas of traditional teamwork and instead embrace agile blended people network. Embrace diversity. Rise in remote work means talent pools are no longer restricted by location, and geographical barrier continues to fall all the time. Leaders of the future can therefore expect to head up a more diverse group of people than ever before. Maybe the new generation will have to deal with more diverse people and talent pool than we had to deal when we were very young and at the early stage of our career. With the workers under their charge like to represent multiple cultures, working methods, and way of thinking. It is the job of tomorrow's leader not to only embrace difference and foster a culture of inclusiveness, but also to make the most of the workplace diversity in arriving at new site. So diversity and inclusion should be part of your strategic plan, HR strategic plan going forward. Then learning for life. Self-development has long been a trait of business leaders, but a rapid nature of business change required tomorrow leader to adopt a mentality of lifelong learning, and that's where the CIPD kicks in, and that's why I opted for MCIPD. Very important, driven by data. The future is all about data. Another very important aspect of future HR is that the age of big data is here to stay now. It's not going anywhere. And we have all seen post-COVID that things have gone online. It's all about networking and keeping the data. You have more database, the better you are in the market. The big data is here to stay, guys, and analytical capabilities will be a key attribute for leaders of the future. Business will increasingly run on data-driven insight, and ability to look beyond the numbers to identify trends and opportunities will be very critical. And finally, working in a flatter structures. Gone are the days, guys, with many business steadily shifting from top-down to side-by-side structures. Tomorrow's managers will perhaps not be the managers at all. They will be coach rather than a manager, a role model who leads by example rather than relying on status. So those hierarchical structures maybe become things of past. It's already becoming. People are more depending on side-by-side structures, flat structures. So work on that. So Sandeep, these would be my few pointers for the young generation and the future leaders of HR to look into. So diversity, data-driven, learn for life, and adapt the agile workforce.
Mohammed, you have summarized very beautifully, and very few HR leaders they have this band, both length and breadth of understanding the business. But what amuses me is, HR people or people champion people, they themselves get unskilled, whereas they are the guys who are skilling and developing
Yeah.
the whole organization, you know and which you very rightly said, the future skills like analytics, big data, machine learning, artificial intelligence, they are going to have a huge impact. And I have seen it till now, not even a 5% of the HR community in most of the organization, they are not skilled for this future skills. So that brings us to the next question. So Mohammed, now what are the future people champion skills are there in your mind, and what do you think about the certification and the programs which Bostonica offers, and how does it helps the HR community and the organization?
See, as I mentioned earlier while sharing my experience doing MCIPD and how I attempted few years ago, but I was not able uh, to finish it. Call it lack of information or knowledge. But when I contacted Bostonica and the way this institute helped, I like Boston International Institute's certification assessment, training certification programs. You make it look so easy and convenient that people you build that confidence in HR professional. Even though I've been doing this for 16 years, but after having the first one-to-one conversation, I felt much more confident in pursuing MCIPD as compared to SHRM. Maybe that was one of the reason I went for MCIPD, not SHRM or any other certification.
How about the other certifications like HR analytics, um, um, the big data certification, the program
Yeah.
dashboard analytics, and all?
I was coming to that. That in fact, some of the certification program or Bostonica helped me to get ready for experience assessment, especially the HR analytic program, which was part of your training. I highly recommend all certification programs of Bostonica. They are one of the most professionally managed training institute in the Middle East, I would say, or what I have come across so far. Since they are also accredited by KHDA, which is an achievement, government of UAE. Hence, I trust them hands down. I recommend all HR professionals and other professionals to consult them before taking any certification. Their career counseling comes free of charge, and that's what I've been advising and advise my colleagues. And as you're aware, some of them did approach you and got a valuable advice. And currently, one of them already successfully gained MCIPD level, and a few of them are pursuing. So yes, I highly recommend the courses, especially this the newly launched HR analytic program. That I would highly recommend to anyone to look into it and contact or get more information from Botanica if they are interested in numbers.
Mohammed, tell us about some incident from your work life that has challenged you in your journey, and that they have shaped you to become the HR professional you have become today. Give us an example.
See, I'll give you a recent example. I mean, it's all about resilience, as you mentioned earlier during this conversation as well. You know, resilience is the capacity to withstand challenges, and is the ability to adapt and to cope with adverse events. And COVID pandemic was indeed a test of our resolve. So, as you may all appreciate, in the early stage of COVID, as in HR professionals' life, there are numbers of events and incidents which we can quote, and I can go on and on. But I'm really proud of one recent one. I will take the recent because we are still going through this COVID. In early stage of COVID, as an organization, we were faced with a challenge of how to support our workforce while keeping the cost in control. Way before this ministerial resolution 279 guidance of UAE government was made public, we as an organization, upon my advice, owners, we implemented a few measures for the welfare and well-being of our employees. What we did, we started off by sending people on paid leave, which had a dual benefit. When the business was slow, we managed to have fewer people, which help us follow the social distancing practices at work, as well as reduce the annual leave balance, which had a positive financial impact. So that made my group CFO happy as well at the same time. And furthermore, I personally arranged for the food boxes for the blue collar workers, mostly drivers who were living at camp, to support them during COVID time, which they really appreciated. This initiative was appreciated both by the employees as well as the owners. So this is particularly very recent examples I would like to give, which really helped. And then we made ourselves available round the clock during this pandemic and made it very flexible. And I'm saying, see, these all things were regulated by government ministerial resolution 279, where they set up all the guidance how to act during COVID. But all these initiative by me was, or my by my company through me, was taken well before this resolution was made public. So we took step of helping employees working, because due to the slow business and loss of few contracts at business level, because most of our businesses are linked to tourism, and we are into transportation and technology, rent a car, and limousine, and home appliances. It's a diversified business. I wouldn't like to go into details, but a diversified business. So all of that got hit by this, like most of the businesses globally. So my first challenge was how to take care of our employees. So instead of demobilizing on a major scale, which happened across the board, we managed to take this opportunity to reduce our leave balance, which has always been one of the discussions during our board meetings. Then we have a huge liability in terms of annual leave balance, which was being accrued from years and years. So I took this opportunity, and very cleverly we made a strategy where we would ask people to voluntarily go on leave. That was for the staff, white collars, and reduce the financial impact on the books. So that made my CFO very happy, as well as for our blue collar worker, we gave them flexible working hours, and we reduced their shift without affecting the payment, as well as we gave all gave them all in Abu Dhabi, multiple 11 different locations. We provide them with the food boxes and basic amenities of life. So yes, that would be I can think of right now few of the things we managed to do during this pandemic.
Excellent. And since now the talk has come to the resilience, um, tell why it is resilience is so important now today's world, ever changing world now. Earlier we had some VUCA world, then we have got a ruptured world, and now totally unpredictable situation. So why resilience is important? Then we'll come to the another discussion of navigational decision making part will come. Tell us about something about resilience part for the HR leaders or people champion leaders.
See, as I said, resilience is the capacity to withstand challenge. And more than ever, we are going through a very, very challenging world right now. I mean, nobody predicted COVID or this pandemic. When this thing came out, and we were faced with many challenges, and we every day we would have late night meetings thinking how to react to this pandemic. I mean, I always used to say that it was nobody could be prepared for that. It was not that I had a file in my shelf saying COVID, that when the COVID will hit, how would we react? So more than ever, it's very important for an HR professional to be resilient at this time, and to stand against all the challenges, and more than ever. Yeah, so that I would just answer that shortly, that this is why it is more important these days, because things are very, very dynamic these days. It's ever changing. You cannot just follow the old patterns. So it's very important for an HR professional to withstand any challenge they may face and be ready for it.
And what about the navigational decision making? And today you have to be ready for decision making as the situation emerges. So tell us something about navigational decision making.
See, you have to be very, very flexible while taking any decision. As I said earlier, that you cannot have a handbook of how to deal with the crisis anymore. Like in old days, when you had an issue, you had set rule. For example, you have UAE labor law. If employee is leaving you, you're terminating, downsizing, making them redundant. There are set rules and steps you follow as per the HR policy, as per the law of the land. However, in ever changing and dynamic environment right now, you have to be very, very flexible, and you should know how to navigate with the flow. So swift and quick decision making is very important, and you have to navigate with the ever-changing situation around you. And this is COVID is just one of the examples how HR professional had to react with no time for in order to protect the interest of their employees and for the welfare and well-being of their employees.
Well, that was a great insight, Muhammad. Any last advice you would like to give it to the HR leaders or budding HR professionals or the senior HR leaders before we conclude today's discussion?
See, once again, the most important thing I would say, which I will just summarize it, which I've already mentioned. See, we all, as an HR professional, we have a duty towards our people. We, as an HR leader, is bridge. Some people think that we work for the owners, or other people think we support employees too much. I would like to put it in a way that we are a bridge between the management and the people, and we have to maintain the status quo. It's very, very important. We should everyone has a different skill set and different calling in life. And I would say for any HR leader that get out there and try, give the best of yourself, and trust God to provide in all things, even in your career. So don't worry, just give it your best and try to create and instill a performance-based culture. If you reward your employee, because there's the English phrase carrot and stick approach. So what I have seen in most of the organization, the management adapts the stick approach. There should always be a carrot. There should be an incentive. So incentivize your people for a good work, and try to have a performance-based culture in your organization, where you do not only hold your people responsible for the work you have tasked them to do, but also incentivize and compensate them. Only paying their salaries will just get you a satisfaction. If you want an engagement, by the way, I was reading an article, there is only 34% of the people are engaged in organization these days. So if you want to have because satisfied employees, the last thing I would like to say is satisfied employee will not take you further. You want engaged employees. If your employees are engaged, then you as a business will progress and prosper and expand. So try to engage your people by taking care of them. Your people are your biggest asset. It is not just a saying, it is the truth.
Well said, Muhammad. And that was a amazing advice, suggestion, recommendation to the future HR leaders. And of course, one of the important thing is be future ready with your future recommended desired skill sets, be it a global HR certification, be it certification programs like analytics, dashboard, machine learning, artificial intelligence. Thank you so much, Muhammad. It was really amazing. And we are grateful for your time from Global Society of Human Capital Management, Livewire, and we wish you all the best in your future endeavors. You have been amazing HR leader. You have added significant and huge value to your organization, be it a top line, be it a bottom line, be it engaging your employees, making them perform despite crisis, despite adverse situation. So wish you all the best, and we are sure that you'll become very soon climb to the ladder of Chief Human Resource Officer or Chief People Officer.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate your well wishes.
And we wish you all the viewers Merry Christmas, because we are approaching that D-Day. And with this, we again thank the entire HR community all across the globe for listening to today's Coffee with HR. And thank you again, Muhammed Owais, Chartered MCIPD, CPHR.
Thank you. You're welcome.